Good evening, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode here at Wildman Lifts. I'm your host, Wildman. Now on today's episode, I have a special treat. Frank and I have been filming a docuseries called Training the Carnivore. And basically what we're doing is we're trying to put his carnivore diet, it's not your carnivore diet, but you are on it. We're putting it to a test. I have a theory that anybody who is trying to achieve maximal strength output would be unable to do so while on the carnivore diet because you are missing carbs and other essential key ingredients that you need to get strong. Now, Frank believes that the carnivore diet has enough nutrition in it to give maximal strength output over time. So the key point to our argument is this. If there is an elite lifter, he will use some other method to get to his elite strength, and then he could switch over to the carnivore and he may be able to possibly maintain that strength level. The key thing to our argument is, which Frank disagrees with me, is you can eat the carnivore diet and achieve maximal strength output in order to get to that elite strength level. And Frank's putting his money where his mouth is, and he is going through my rigorous training programs to see if we can accomplish that. So I'm treating him like I would any other client. We're going to be taking him through the beginner and novice phase, and then into the intermediate phase, which is subcategories. And then we're going to take him through the advanced phase. And if he's able to complete all of these levels of training, then I will concede that the carnivore diet is a method that people can use to achieve possible strength output. Did I say that correctly, Frank?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Now, how did this come up? Why did you want to be the test monkey in this situation?
It was a conversation in the office I'd actually walked into. So I don't feel, you could have tricked me, you could have seen me coming, but I didn't feel.
I am a tricky guy.
You are a pretty tricky
guy,
pretty savvy. I didn't feel like you were baiting me into the conversation because I remember I walked into the office and you were looking the other direction while you're having a conversation about the carnivore diet, and you had made this exact statement. You're telling whoever it was, I don't recall who, right, that just what you said. You're like, you know what? He's already gone through the beginner and intermediate phase with me, so I've seen that you can do that. I don't think he can do advanced because there's such a work capacity at that level as well as work intensity, and without the additional carbohydrates, I don't think he can do it. And I walked up behind you and thought, well, you know what? Challenge accepted, because it just sounded exciting to me. We had actually been talking about, probably a week prior to that, me going back onto your training program because of a little feat of strength you had given me. Right? We were standing out in front of the office, we were joking around, and you said, hey, let me show you something. This is what I just did to a coworker. I was messing around with him, and you went to go push me, and when you pushed me, you generated, for a little bit of background, I just started doing jiu-jitsu for about the last year, right? 6 months to a year, so I have a little bit of experience with grappling. When I put my hands on you, and you said, this is how I pushed him, and you pushed me back, I thought the amount of energy that you're generating through your body and into me, I want that. There's a lot of strength that you've developed by your rigorous training program, by lifting the stones and lifting the log and pushing and pulling objects. These things you generally don't see in the gym. Generally it's the static movements, it's the deadlifts, it's the back squats, and we use those. But that's not the only thing you do. Those are just a part of the program. And I said, you know what? I want that strength. Now going back forward again, about a week later, you're having that conversation, and I thought, you know what? I wanted to do your program again anyways. How about you train me up, we find out, and I'll do the diet. I'll do it strictly. Let's see if I can do this all the way up to the advanced portion on the carnivore diet, since I want to train this way anyways, and we can find out together as to whether this is going to work.
And it truly is like a science experiment, because we don't know what's going to happen, right?
Right.
We, as far as you and I can tell, we looked on the internet, and we don't see any subjects that have, like, Hafthor Bjornsson or Brian Shaw, Eddie Hall, these big names, right? They didn't use the carnivore diet to get where they are, right? So is the carnivore diet a recommended diet to get to optimal strength level? Or is it just simply another fad diet, right? Like the Atkins diet, right?
Yeah.
And so we wanted to put that to the test, and we didn't see anybody who has ever tried this before, who's gone from not like an absolute zero state, but somebody who has some gym experience, and then train him up to see if he can achieve big numbers in the gym. And that's mainly like the goal of this, right?
Right.
It's one big giant science experiment. So I'm really excited. We've already filmed a couple of episodes already, and I'm very excited from how this is going. Another thing that we're going to do is after the end of the training video, I'm going to post Frank's diet that he ate that day. I don't need to post an entire diet, I don't think, unless we maybe test for 1 rep maxes. Maybe I'll post like your whole entire diet leading up to that point. But every day I'm going to post what you ate that day. And then the viewers can see how you structured it, what time you ate, how much you ate. And you do a pretty good job of labeling protein, carbs, and everything else, like grams of fat and everything. I've kind of seen some of how you do. Still don't quite get it, but that's okay, because I'm not on it, you are.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be having some special guests as well. I've already had 2 former clients that popped in on the workout and trained with them. And so far, so good. At the beginner level, Frank is being able to demonstrate strength and gain strength to an equal member of somebody who's on the omnivore diet or just eats garbage all day long. It's pretty easy as a beginner and a novice to get to a certain strength point. But like Frank said, there's going to be a time period where that's going to transition to where carbs, in my opinion, are going to be super important in order to even finish the training and to develop muscle and strength. But I'm really excited to see how this goes. And this whole entire video is being sponsored by our friends over at Rock Hardware and Cabinets. So I will leave the link to their website and their YouTube channel, and you can check that out. Pretty much, if you're a commercial industry that needs to build things, you can go online or visit in person in his store. Check out some of the stuff that they have to finish some of your projects that you might be working on. If you're a big DIY person and you want to do stuff at home as well, he has stuff that you can look up online and it can ship directly to your house. So here we go. This is the introduction to the docuseries. We're going to start with Tough 6. So the first 4 episodes will be about Tough 6. So stay tuned for that. Good night, and we'll check in.